be off. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. That should be better now. If you're in here, drop me a message in the chat. But welcome to this audit session, Indies Live audit session. If you're new here and you're not familiar with what we do at an audit day, we'll go through anything that you guys might have that you just need a second set of eyes on. Emails, landing pages, ads, sales pages, whatever it might be. I'm here to take a look at them for you, tell you tweaks, recommendations, suggestions that I might have, and that would help you to optimize those assets as best as possible. So that's what we do in an audit session here. It looks like we've got some comments in the on the watch page here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into some stuff with you guys. So if you're on here, David, what's up, man? I'm glad you can hear me. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for dropping a comment as well. I'm looking forward to checking out your funnel for your show. Very cool. And if you guys need anything, feel free to drop me. You can drop a message in the chat here if you've got any questions as we're going through things. Hey, Katie, what's happening? Thanks for jumping in. If you guys need anything, you can drop, if you have something that you want me to audit, you can drop it in the comments, or you can drop it here in the chat as well. But I'm looking forward to diving in. So let's head right into it here and see what we got going on. Tolu, what's going on? Mastermind your life. I'm thinking maybe you drop me some comments down here as well. I will probably butcher your first name. I think it's pronounced Omofa Lahami. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your first name. So sorry about that. I'm gonna call you Intuition since that's in your middle name here. But I'm stoked to take a look at what you've got going on. Thanks for dropping it in here. Haley, what's happening? Thanks for jumping in. If you guys need anything, if you need anything audited, those of you who haven't put something in the comments, feel free to drop me something. Tolu, cool. I will call you that. That's awesome. Well, I'm stoked to get into it. So let's just start at the top here. I'm going to refresh my page, make sure that I'm not missing anything. I've got my coffee from Wawa here, which is keeping me alive this afternoon. And we'll dive right into things. All right. I'm just waiting for the comments to load back up. And happy Independence Day, 4th of July weekend to all of you guys that are here in the U.S. To those of you who aren't, happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, Friday, happy maybe a little bit of a longer weekend for you. I hope you get some time to kick it if the weather's nice where you're at. Haley said, hey there, I was wondering if you could take a look at my website, how it leads into my opt-in page. I'm going to rerun my album launch. I would like to improve the whole experience. For my first album launch, my opt-in page converted 29% of the people who clicked on the ad, so I'd like to improve my conversions when I run opt-in ads to my landing page. Hey, absolutely, Haley. I'd be happy to take a look at that for you. Feel free to drop the link either in the comments or in the chat, and we can dive right into it. I'm going to reload my page again because apparently the comments don't want to work today. So let me get that happening here, and then we will jump into things. Sorry for the delay, folks. Let's see here. It seems like everything's broken today. Facebook is absolutely going nuts, which is not cool. I don't know if you guys have noticed that on your end and where you might be in your part of the world, but here, at least on the East Coast in the U.S., we're having a hell of a time with Facebook right now, which is a blast. So let's see here. Traveler Music, what's going on? I don't know your first name. I may have asked your first name on a previous Indies Live, but if I forget, I'm so sorry. But if you want to drop your first name, I'd be happy to address you by it. Okay, cool. I've got the comments loaded here. I'm going to start with David. David said, I'm finished my first share funnel page for an upcoming show and would love an audit on it. Cool, man. I'm happy to give you an audit on your share funnel. Let me share my screen with you guys so that we can go into this. Let me pull this up and do a screen share. And actually make my camera on the screen. Oh, this is weird. Bear with me for a hot minute here. I'll make myself small. And let's hide that logo. There we go. All right, cool. So let's dive in and take a look at David's ticket sales page. Um, okay, cool. So it looks like a year of dizzying rain. Come celebrate life with Sandy Siegel. Cool. Got a video going on here. Let me check this out. It's like a live performance video with some lyrics in the captions. Cool, cool, cool. I'm just skipping through a little bit if you don't mind. Sound quality on this video is pristine, which is great. Good stuff there, man. And let's see, you've got a little opt-in form here. Enter your name, enter your email address, get updates. Early bird tickets are available for limited purchase until 25 days, 11 hours, 53 minutes, and 7 seconds. Got a little countdown there, some photos. This event is a live show featuring original folk and blues music by Sandy Siegel and her band. She will also be joined by local harmonica blues band Hotfoot. Sandy Siegel's music has been called calming and mesmerizing and emotional, inspirational, and touching by fans. Come join us in the park to celebrate our lives, ourselves, our diversity, and all of our quirkiness. Cool little description there. Get tickets, and then what to expect. Amazing music. You've got the album, but have you heard the new song Sandy has written? How about her version of Tori Amos' Cornflake Girl or Pretzel Logic by Steely Dan? Unforgettable experience. Celebrating a year since the Dizzying Rain album was released. This is our big summer show and a one-time event. That's cool. Great people. You step to the beat of your own drum. You appreciate and seek out the diversity of others because of the enrichment it brings, and you see the waves of life as a challenge to learn to surf. Oh, I like that. You'll be in good company. Escape from your daily life. It always seems like life gets extra busy once Labor Day hits. The show one weekend before Labor Day is a perfect finisher for the late summer to remind you why summers are so awesome. That's cool. I dig it. Looks like you've got another live performance video here. Cool. Good stuff. What people have said, music is so calming and mesmerizing, great rhythm and a smoky, sensual sound, emotional and inspiring and touching. Love the words straight from the heart, echoes, ripples, and reflections of beauty. Bluesy and soulful, Sandy has a sultry, sexy voice with a smooth style. Get tickets, and then you've got a gallery here of some photos and some videos. That's very cool. Frequently asked questions section. Is there parking near the venue? Is the event all ages? Will there be smoking areas? That's cool that you've got this. Where can I learn more about the opening acts? That's cool. A little bit of a detail on them. Is there a discount for multiple tickets? You bet. Bring up to 3 friends to get the best price on your ticket. That's awesome. And then a little bit of a footer here. Cool. One thing just noticed off the top of my head here, David. Demo image here. You probably want to pop that off or fill it with something depending on what you want to do with that. If you want to have a logo there, or if you want to just remove that altogether, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But this looks really cool. I definitely dig the vibe that you were going for. I think you provided a lot of really good information. I particularly really like this what to expect section with the logo here, this photo and the logo, and kind of giving people all of the benefits of coming to this show. That's really, really cool. I like the videos here. Something that comes to mind just at your on your above the fold here. As a visitor coming to this page, I think that you could be a little more explicit on this copy, this headline here. A year of dizzying rain, come celebrate life with Sandy Siegel. If I'm a visitor to this page, the first thing that I would want to be made aware of, and the first thing that I think you should look to make your fans aware of, is that this is a show. While they might be familiar with and they've gone through an experience of having the Dizzying Rain record, they may not necessarily immediately connect with what you're presenting in front of them. That this is a show, specifically that this is an anniversary, a celebration kind of show. So you might want to say, "Come celebrate a year of the Dizzying Rain record at an exclusive show at an exclusive end of the summer show with Sandy Siegel, and you could mix and match that in your headline and your sub headline here. I think that that's the first thing that if I were landing on this page, that might kind of throw me off. Reading this copy might not really get me to connect with where I followed from. So whether that's an email or an ad or something like that, if I thought I was being taken to a ticket sales page, I may not quite get it from what I'm seeing here. So I would recommend tweaking that headline, because this above the fold area on your sales page is really, really important. It's going to be the first thing that people see. It's going to be, for a lot of people, maybe the only thing that they see. Maybe they hit that and they want to make a quick decision. They might not take the time to go through and read everything that you've got going on here. So what I would recommend is revamping this headline to reflect the fact that it's a show, that you're a concert, a show, an event that's celebrating a year of an anniversary, if you want to call it that, of this record that came out, the album. And then you could pull some of these benefits and the features of this show into the sub headline. So you could take some of these ideas that you've got going on here and fit them into your sub headline under your headline. I would also recommend just bumping up the size of this font. Right now it feels like it kind of gets lost, and that leads me to another thing that I wanted to mention here is this little header here where the logo is situated. I think you could probably pad that down. It might make sense to drop in a different logo, a different size if you've got that, or even remove the logo altogether. I like that you've got the Get Tickets button here. Let's see what this does. This brings you right to the order form. That's cool. Again, here I think at the order form, you want to bump this headline up and make it so that people can read it a little bit better. But going back to your sales page, let me know if that makes sense, if you're hanging in here in the chat, and hopefully that gives you some ideas on the headline. Now, with regards to this background and just like the way that the font is situated, I might recommend, if you're going with you've got kind of like a black, white, and red sort of theme going here, just based on the background colors of your page, in each section, here in this header section, in this lower section here, and this kind of striking red of the curtain behind Sandy here, and this top stage, this top part of the stage. I think what you might want to do is you kind of lose the font, and this might change once you bump the size up, the font size. But what I might recommend is you can kind of feel like you're getting a whole lot of stuff. Like you've got the background of the band and Sandy here, and then you've got this video. What I might recommend is adding an overlay to this background image, a darker overlay, so that the white text pops out a little bit more. So you'll still get some of that color. It'll just be muted by a black overlay where you bring the opacity down in something like Photoshop, or you can do it in Canva. But that would be one recommendation that I would make, just to make the readability of the page a little bit better. So that's one thing I might recommend. I like the video here. I might recommend, and this is kind of depending on what you guys are able to do and what you have time for, but it might be cool to actually put a video sales letter in place here. So you could have Sandy addressing the fans, telling them about the show, why they should come to it, and really stressing these benefits that you're talking about here in this what to expect section. So you can really make it kind of like a heartfelt, like, hey, I want you here sort of message. And you could splice in clips from all of the videos on this page, but particularly if you wanted to use the By My Side video, you could splice in some clips from that. You could talk about the Dizzying Rain record and really make that a cool sort of VSL right on your sales page, especially if this is going out to people that are already customers of Sandy's, of people that have purchased the record, people that are in her world already. That could be a really, really cool way to sort of pitch this show. So yeah, that's a couple ideas that I have in mind. With regards to your opt-in section here, get updates. I might recommend changing your call to action there, because it kind of disconnects with me, right? You've got get tickets here, and then down here you've got get updates. I don't as a viewer, I don't really know what that means. Get updates about what? I know you've got down here. There's another button, get updates, and you've got this call to action, get updates about the show. But maybe you could work in some sort of like some sort of call to action that entices people to drop their name and email. So it might be, maybe you can set up some kind of VIP access to the show, or like, um, or behind the scenes or something like that, and you can kind of entice people with that. So it might be like, or even going to this idea of early bird, get early bird tickets, or get tickets before they go on sale or something like that, and kind of incentivize people that way. Because get updates, it kind of loses me on what you'd be even updating them about, not really giving them much of a reason to do so. Especially with that being in the above the fold section, it might make sense where if you don't want to work in something like that that's working to get opt-ins, you may want to change that to just a get tickets link. But a couple ideas there, like I was saying, just to itemize those out for you. Maybe change that to get early bird tickets, get tickets before they go on sale, or pre-show or pre-sale tickets, I guess you would call it. Or you could say, get VIP tickets or something like that, get behind the scenes access, those sorts of things. And then if you decide to not go that route, you could just have a get tickets button here. So yeah, a couple ideas on that. Hopefully that gives you some thoughts. But as far as the rest of the page goes, I like the countdown here. That's cool. These images look great. One thing I would recommend, if you can, is just crop this down so that it matches in size. Just like from a visual perspective, I think that would look cool. Like I said, I love the copy that you've got going on here. I think that's really, really cool. I like these benefits section. I would recommend bumping up the size and maybe changing either bumping up the size or changing the font of all of the expectations here in this copy, just because it's kind of hard to read. Even on a desktop here, it's kind of difficult to read. So let's just take a quick look and see what that looks like on mobile. Yeah, you can see here on mobile, just kind of loses it a little bit, and the logos are really, really big. So you might want to check out the mobile optimization of this. The logo does look really cool, by the way, now that I can see what it actually is. I dig that logo. It's really, really neat. But yeah, you might want to take a look and see about that, and maybe consider taking the logo down in size or removing it on the mobile formatting of the page. But there's some ideas there. Let's take it back to desktop. I like the frequently asked questions. I think that's great. Really, really cool stuff here. The formatting of this, I think you could probably clean this up just so that these things are kind of evenly sized. So maybe you could do a couple rows. You could do like 2 rows of, or 1 row of videos where it's a row of 3 where you've got all the videos in one section, and then you could have the photos in another. You could do these two big vertical photos in another row, just to keep things really, really like clean and organized. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if this is a picture of where the show actually is, but if so, that's a cool thing to include for sure. So I dig that. Yeah, so that's just some of my feedback based on what I'm seeing here. I like these testimonials. It might be cool to put some border around them, just to kind of make it all stand out. So even just like a simple black border around each one. But yeah, I think this is really, really cool. I hope that these suggestions help. These are the first things that come to mind just from seeing it, like I said. So yeah, take down this padding, or pad this down. Maybe consider taking the logo out or swapping it out for something that fits the sizing a little bit better, so you're not taking up so much space with this headline. or this header. Bumping up and tweaking the headline here. I think those are kind of like the primary things that I would start by focusing on. Working on the background image. We talked about this button here, and then just going down and working the graphics and some of the font setup on this page. Yeah, man. So hopefully this helps. Let me know if you've got any questions about anything I asked in the chat. But this looks really, really cool, and I'm excited for you. It looks like it's if this is going out to people who are really invested in Sandy's world, I think having an awesome VSL video sales letter at the top in your above the fold would be really, really powerful, especially considering how much you go into here in this what to expect section. So if you can tie some of that in, could be really, really awesome. So hopefully this helps. Let me know if you got any questions for me. Happy to dive into it. Cool. So I'm going to carry on here, and let's get out of Facebook. There we go. All right, so let's see. Gonna go back into the comments. Oh, Colin, what's up, man? Thanks for dropping me your first name. Appreciate it. Cool. Let me know if you've got any questions for me. Switch to live chat here. All right. Cool. Haley, thanks for dropping me your website. I can definitely take a look at that for you. Hey, Mary Jess, how are you? I hope you're doing well also. Yeah, I'd be happy to check out your website. I will absolutely take a look at that. Katie, thanks for dropping the opt-in page. We'll take a look at that as well. David, no problem, man. Happy to help. Let me know if you got any questions. And like I said, really, really great work. I think with a few tweaks, it'll be a really badass ticket sales page. So good stuff. Let me dive into the comments here. So this was from Tuyu, or Tuyu, I think that's how you say it. Tolu, this is a comment. It says, love your work, Jack, and your tutorials are on point. Hey, man, thanks so much. I appreciate that. I recently created a Viper IO contest, and we've been getting entries. Good stuff. But how do we convert them to paying customers? Let me check out your Viper page. And also, an artist we're working with just released a single. How do we best promote it? Cool. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look at this Viper page. All right. Win cash from Palm Tree Pyrex. Got a music video going on here. Monthly prize giveaway. Click to enter for your chance to win $100 cash winners announced every week. Cool little bio here. Win $100 sent to you via Cash App. That's cool. How to win. Enter complete task. Gather points. Get paid in cash. Oh, you've got some prizes. That's cool. Enter with your name and email. I don't want to blow you up here, but I'm going to drop my email address in just to see what you've got going on. Let's just call this, I'm going to use a fake email if you don't mind, dad at gmail.com, Jack. Cool. All right, so you got some referrals, some ranking, some comments happening. That's very cool. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, add us on Snapchat. Cool. So you've got all these different secondary entry points. That's awesome. Very cool, man. So a couple things. I think the page looks really cool. Something that we talk a lot about when it comes to contest strategy here, both um, to indies that I talk to on consults and at IndieX with our artists, is when you're putting together contests, it's really helpful to have the prize be your targeting. So depending on who this is going out to, if it's going out to warm audiences, that's a really cool. I think cash can be a cool way to keep your audience warmed up and excited about you. But even more so for warm audiences, I think it's really cool to offer them, bundles, merch, things like that, things that are related to you as an artist, or your artist in this case. That they'll feel incentivized and excited to sign up for beyond just cash. But when it comes to cold audiences, the challenge with offering something like cash is that, and I've seen this numerous times with a bunch of different artists, is yeah, it's cool. Everyone wants cash, right? But that might not be attracting the kinds of people who are actually going to hang and stay as fans. So you asked about converting these people into fans and then down the line into customers. The challenge with something like a prize like cash is that it might just, you might be picking up entries from people who maybe they don't even care about hip hop music. They just see an opportunity to grab $100. So getting them deeper and deeper into your listener journey, your buddy system, could be a challenge. That said, it's definitely worth exploring since you've already got this in place and you're getting entries. So, as far as converting them into customers, what I would do is you've got emails from these people, right? I would start nurturing them with content. So, sending them content, getting broadcast out to them via email, getting them more and more involved with you online, maybe sending them a content series, set them up on an automation. You could run oh man, you could run a whole bunch of different things. Just sending them some free music, keeping them in the loop about what you're doing, maybe doing some behind the scenes type of content in the studio. You also could move to putting together some recurring media and trying to get them to hang out with you and nurture the relationship that way. So whether that's a Facebook Live series, a YouTube Live series, if you're active on Instagram Live and you're going live there, getting those people regularly used to hearing from you is a really good way to nurture them, and then starting to make them offers. Sales offers, so things like that. If you're running a discount for merch, you could run a free plus shipping and handling funnel. And if you check out last week's Indies Live ground report that I did, I talked a lot about promotions. And in previous Indies Live ground reports, we talked a lot about the affirmation stage of the buddy system and turning people into first time customers. Getting that first critically important purchase from them. So definitely check those out. But those would be my suggestions. Is once you've got these people on your list, just start sending them content, start warming them up, nurturing them, getting them brought into your world. So you can put together, an intro series, an indoctrination sequence in email where you're introducing the artist to them, getting them kind of warmed up, getting them looped in on what's happening in the artist world with their music, all that good stuff, and then sending them content, keeping them updated about when he goes live, things like that, where he's playing, if he's touring, when new music is being released, all of that good stuff, and moving them towards closer to the affirmation stage of the buddy system from there, and then starting to make offers. But like I said, I think it would be helpful to think about some different front end prizes that you could use that really attract the kinds of people that are going to be more likely to turn into fans and then into customers, based on what you're putting out in front of them beyond just cash. So something to think about there. A lot of that depends on who you're putting these contests out to, whether it's, already warmed up fans, people in his world, or if it's people who are, just cold traffic and you're trying to reach new people. A lot of that can really vary based on who you're trying to reach. So things to think about there. I hope that that's helpful. Regarding the artist that you're working with for a single, let me take a quick little listen here. I don't want to spend too much time listening to tunes, but let me take a little 30-second listen. Oh, this is the same artist. Cool. Let's see here. Spotify never opens by itself, which is dumb. Da-da-da-da. All right. Palm tree pyrex. Let's take a quick listen to this song. Oh, this just came out a couple days ago. Cool. Cool. So I took a quick listen, just kind of skipped through the song, listened to the vibe. So what I would recommend for this sort of thing, you just released this single, right? You've got people coming in through Viper, through a contest. Here's a few ideas. Definitely let those people know. Hit them with an email letting them know about the song. But as far as getting new people and promoting this, I would say putting together a solid fan finder campaign and just generating new listeners through a fan finder Facebook ad campaign is going to be my biggest recommendation to just increase the listener pool for Palm Tree Pyrex from ground zero here. So building out a fan finder campaign, running traffic to it, and what you'll probably see, and we see this a lot when people run fan finders, both in, we'll see it in the indies group, we see it with IndieX artists, I've seen it with my own music. When you run fan finder campaigns, a lot of times you'll see this, what we call the waterfall effect. You're generating new retargetable listeners on Facebook, and that reach, those listeners are going to go and they're going to seek you out elsewhere. So you're going to see an increase in streams on Spotify. You'll probably see an increase in people checking out your YouTube channel. All of those sort of places where you're existing and your music is and your content is, you're likely to see some overflow from the fan finder campaign that you're running. So if you haven't checked out the fan finder training, or if you haven't put a fan finder together yet, I definitely would recommend doing that for this song and putting together a really solid video to promote it. That would be my biggest recommendation as far as getting the promo started here. So hopefully that helps. And good stuff and great work. Hopefully these ideas are useful. But I'm going to continue along here. Let me know if that makes sense and if you've got any follow-up questions for me, man. So I'm going to, real quick here, refresh my screen on the watch page, see if we've got any other comments. And then I'm going to dive into everybody who shot me a message in the chat, and we'll start doing some audits of your stuff. Thank you for being patient with me, guys. I'm trying to give as much attention as I possibly can. Let me get Spotify out of the way here so I can share my screen with y'all. All right. I'm going to go over to Haley's website here. Let me copy this in, and we'll take a look at your opt-in page. All right, let me share my screen, and we'll dive into this, Haley. Cool. All right, awesome. This page looks good. I like the background. Very clean layout. Astronaut out now. Let me take you on a virtual tour. That's pretty cool. Get free access. We're going over to your opt-in page. grab your passport to access exclusive content. That's really, really cool. Um, and this is everything that's in it. A download to my entire album, Lady with a Rocket, for free. Downloaded merch and tickets to select shows because I want you to have all the swag while singing along. Exclusive giveaways stories behind the songs, an 11-day interactive journey with access to my unreleased music. Get free access. Journey starts. Got a countdown here. One of the scene's brightest voices. Very cool. We can experience the journey of music together. You are the passenger when you listen to music. We live in a world with so much content, so many choices, singles, playlists. It could be overwhelming. We don't have many opportunities to make meaningful connections. This copy is really great. I like the copy a lot. Haley, this is good stuff. I want to give you that. I believe music is more than just the audio file. It's the story behind it. Boom. The meaning of the lyrics and the experience you share when listening to the music. I write and record music to communicate my experiences and feelings. Bring you on tour with me. Very cool. I'll be taking you a trip around the world and into outer space. You'll travel to Paris, a detour in the Middle East, a dive into the ocean, and soar up into the stars. Along the way, I'll show you what I've discovered, a journey which may be familiar to you too. That's why I want you to join me. Dryce absolutely nails it. Cool testimonial there. Yeah, this is really, really cool. I really dig this look. Grab your passport to access exclusive content. I like this headline. It might be cool to have a sub headline in here with some of these features and benefits that you list out, just so that it catches their eye right away. So that's one idea. Something else that I would recommend as far as your opt-in page goes is, if you're able to, I would take out your navigation header here, and if you could pare it down to like your name logo in the center. I would take out this navigation just so that people don't have anything else to do on this page but opt in, and see if you can get your get free access button above the fold. Those are like probably um, my two biggest recommendations. As far as opt-in pages go, you'll definitely see a better opt-in rate if you can remove the areas where people can, kind of stop and get distracted. So taking away these sections, I think or this navigation, I think would be helpful if you're able to do that. That's one thing that comes to mind. And yeah, like I said, if you can get this, I like this photo. I think it's cool. But I think if you can take some of these points and get them in your sub headline just to really catch people's attention. I love the passport idea. I think that's really, really cool. Probably could lead to some cool merch ideas for your affirmation offer at the end. I don't know if you've already thought about that, but if you have, could be dope. But I would say try to get this get free access button above the fold. Let's see what it looks like in mobile real quick. But yeah, just a few recommendations for you on that. On mobile here, if you can, this is great. It's nice and big. If you can pare it down a little bit and include some sub headline, especially because on mobile you sort of lose the font here in this graphic. So something to think about there might be maybe on mobile, in the mobile version, swapping out your image. But definitely getting these benefits in a sub headline could be really powerful. And again, if you're able to, getting the get free access above the fold could be really, really helpful. You could also test an opt-in page video here if you wanted to talk to the fans directly. That may be something worth split testing if you haven't already. So a couple ideas there, but yeah, overall, I think that this is really cool. As far as how it ties into your website, I don't know if you had specific questions about that, but if you're going to be relaunching, I think it would be really, really awesome to have this on your above the fold section, so that as soon as people hit your website, the first thing that they have is the first thing that they can see is Astronaut Out Now. And then maybe if you wanted to include that on the above the fold here, you could have the record here, the album art, and then you could have this picture right side by side with it, just so that you're keeping your branding intact that way. But just an idea there. I think that would, as far as collecting some organic opt-ins, that could be a really cool way to do it. But yeah, these are my big these are my big suggestions. I see in the chat here you asked, do you prefer an image on the opt-in page or a video? I like to test both when I'm able to. Sometimes I've seen just a simple image perform better. Other times I've seen a VSL or an opt-in video perform better. So I would say test it if you haven't already. Really depends on how your fans are used to hearing from you. But a lot of times I have seen just a graphic perform better. And given the fact that you got a 29% opt-in your conversion rate on your opt-in page, that's really not too bad. If you can bump it up a little bit, that would be awesome. But like we mentioned in the Ultimate Album launch, the metrics that you're really looking for is 40% opt-in rate on your squeeze page, 10% purchase rate of your core offer, and then 10% of those core offer purchasers picking up your OTO or your order bump. If you can achieve that, then you're moving towards a funnel that is working well and hopefully getting close to break even and profitable. So I think one of the biggest things that would be helpful, just based on what I'm seeing, like I said, is getting rid of this navigation if possible, and getting this button above the fold, and just stressing these benefits in your sub headline, so that people know what it means to grab this passport to your exclusive content. And maybe even changing up the language to saying grab your passport to exclusive content from my new album or something like that, just so it's really hammering home what that means. So it's not a vague idea of exclusive content. It's really spelled out, obvious and explicit for them. But yeah, I hope this helps. If you have any other questions, let me know. I really dig all of this. There's some cool stuff here. I like your benefits section with the features kind of included here. So very, very cool. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Let me know if you've got any follow-up questions, but I think you're on the right track, and I think the metrics that you mentioned definitely point to that as well. So let me keep going along here. Let's take a look at Mary Jess's website. I want to make sure that I get to all of you guys within the time that we've got here. Cool. So let me share my screen with y'all and take a look at Mary Jess's website. All right, so here's what we've got. MaryJess.com. We've got a cool, very high quality image here going on. Cool, so pretty simple one page website, not a whole lot to scroll through. So here's my initial thoughts, Mary Jess. I like that you've got a little bit of an opt-in section here for a free download. Would you like a free download? Oh, and then we dive into a little bit more navigation that you've got going on where people can check out your story. Known for your X Factor stuff, winning the X Factor. Oh, here we've got your whole bio. This is great. Music. Cool, so we've got your store going on here. Shop. We've got more products on this shop page. Live dates. Oh, so here's shows that you've got going on. Cool. Free download. Master classes, that's cool. Get in touch. Contact form, cool. Cool. And then the home page here. Buy the new album. Making the album, you've got some images here, that's great. We've got your Twitter feed. Cool, so a couple ideas for you, Mary Jess. Let's just go back to this home page here. So we've got your main lander, right, that people are taken to. A couple ideas. I think what might be helpful is adding a darker overlay um, to this photo so that this text stands out a little bit, because it does kind of get lost. Winner of the Chinese version of X Factor, voice of Downton Abbey, chosen by number 10 Downing Street to represent UK music in 144 countries. That's all really cool. That's all really cool stuff. I think allowing that text to pop a little better is one thing that I would recommend. You have a shop button here. That's great. I might recommend having a call to action on that shop button more than just shop. You could have, since this is going to be the first thing people see, and you want to take advantage of this above the fold kind of real estate. It could be, a specific call to action: buy my new record. That would be one thing to take into consideration. Another thing with this free download, it might be positioning it as more than just a free download. Something that we talk a lot about when it comes to the idea of opt-ins and getting opt-ins is that downloaded music can kind of seem like digital litter. What does an MP3 really do, right? So changing this call to action to be like something along the lines of like, go behind the scenes of my new single or something like that, or get exclusive access to my new single, whatever it is that you're giving away on this opt-in page. Would you like, and it takes people here, would you like a free download? To get your free download, sign up below and I'll send your exclusive download link straight away. It doesn't really say what it is that they're getting. What is the free download for? Is it for one song? Is it for your whole album? Is it for behind the scenes content? So I think getting specific with that would be really, really helpful. That's kind of like I think that's one of the biggest areas of opportunity for you, is to tweak this opt-in to be really specific, so that it's really it exists as kind of like a permission funnel right on your website. For pulling organic traffic right in onto your list, for something cool. So you kind of go into it, but I think you can get a little more heavy-handed with what it means to offer people something for free. Not just a free download, but something more. It could be behind-the-scenes content. It could be the single with maybe like the voice memos that you put together when you were writing the songs, or studio sessions, even just behind the scenes photos. There's a lot that you could get creative with as you're working towards building up different campaigns and things like that, depending on what areas of your buddy system you're specifically focusing on. But with regards to your website, that's a recommendation that I would make. So just some thoughts there. As far as the rest of the website goes, and just some ideas here, I like this section. I think we kind of lose this font a little bit in the background. This light gray over white is kind of hard to read. The this like orangey salmon pink color, I think is cool and stands out a little bit better. But I would suggest darkening up this text, maybe going with a black font, or consider changing the background up, because you can see like this pops really well, your headline here. You might want to change the sizing of this video as well, just to make it a little more compact on the page, so that people can actually scroll down and see the rest of your bio, or at least see the beginnings of it. So some ideas there. I think when the font's a little bit bigger, this gray pops through a little more and looks nice, but you might want to consider darkening it up, like I said, or increasing the font size so that it does stand out more. So those are probably the two biggest recommendations that I would make. Hopefully that helps you out. Same kind of thing here with this salmon font. It's sort of, when it's not bolded, it sort of loses its space here. I like that you've got in this above the fold section, you've got some info about the new album. I would say you could probably list out some more about the record here under this quote. And if you can get this buy button on this side of the page so that it's above the fold, that gives people, a one-way ticket right to purchase right when they hit this page. So yeah, I think those would be my biggest recommendations based on what I'm seeing here. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you've got any questions, but I'm going to continue on. Like I said, I want to make sure that I get to everybody. So hopefully that helps you out. Let me take a look here. Katie said, "Hey Jack, here's the opt-in I just started putting together for my launch. Already want to change a few things. If you get a chance, you can take a look." Absolutely. Let's take a look and see what you've got going on. Alrighty. All right, let me share my screen with you. Thanks for dropping this in, Katie. I appreciate it. Let's see. All right, so bittersweet experience. I want to give you my entire new album for free. You'll also get a behind the scenes look at each song. Claim your spot. Okay, and then we've got your opt in page here. So, a couple things. Kind of in short form right now, so I won't have a ton to say here. But copy wise, let's make this copy about the listener, right? You lead with I. I think what really speaks to people is when you're talking about what they get. And obviously, you're kind of going into that here, but leading with something along the lines of like, get my entire new album for free, and you'll also get behind the scenes look at each songs. And then I think it's really important in that sub headline to stack on everything that's going to be included in your album launch. So more than just behind the scenes looks. What does that mean? What kind of content are you giving them? What kind of stuff are they going to see? Is there going to be hangouts that you're doing with them throughout the experience? Excuse me. Is there going to be hangouts throughout the experience? VSL isn't here yet, so it'll be interesting to see what you work through on that. I also would say if you're able to, get your claim your spot button above the fold for sure. I like the idea of the bittersweet experience. That's cool. And this headline here looks nice. So yeah, those are my immediate thoughts. I don't have a ton to add just yet, but definitely share this in the indies group as you're working on it too. And we can kind of, I'm sure everybody in there who's run album launches will have feedback to give you. But I think you're off to a right start. And depending on what your brand currently looks like, you could change up this font. But I think like clarity wise, all looks good so far. Let me take a look at mobile for you. Responsive. Bittersweet experience, cool. I want to give you my entire album for free. Yeah, so you could bump up this headline here. What might be cool is to, if you're able to, is to get bittersweet experience on one line so it's not taking up so much real estate here, because that's not really stressing what it is that they're getting. I think it's cool on this. I think it's cool on the desktop version of the page, where it's just across one line. It's not taking up too much space, but it's kind of there just as like, this is what it is, and you're going to be talking about that a lot, I assume, throughout the launch. Especially if bittersweet is the name of the record. But here, the headline is really, really clear by the size. You kind of lose that in the mobile version, so I would say if you can bump that up, that would be great. But copy-wise, I think that's where you're going to be able to focus on really stressing what it is that makes this thing unique for your fans, to make them want to drop that name and email in there and start consuming your music. So those are my initial ideas. Like I said, I don't have a ton to offer right now, but I think it's just important to really itemize out everything that it is that you're going to be doing to make this cool and to make this experience something that's worth somebody in your world going through with you. What about this experience is special, and getting that on this page. Both here in the above the fold and as you're building out the rest of the opt-in page, you can expand upon those things and make them even more readily apparent for people who aren't sold right away and they want to scroll around. So hopefully that helps. Let me see. Oh, Katie said, just FYI, it's super basic, as you'll see. Definitely need to add more. Yeah, for sure. But I think you're off to a great start, so good job. Oh, my video, damn it. Let me refresh. Maybe you switch the video in. Okay, not yet. Cool. No worries. But yeah, hopefully that little bit of info helps. Sorry that I don't have more for you yet, but as you're working through it, like I said, definitely drop it in the Indies group. If we come up on another audit session and you want to take a look at it before the launch happens, obviously we'd be happy to take a look at it then. Um, but good stuff. Haley said, "All Katie, that's exciting that you'll be doing an album launch. I know it will be a great experience, and I'd love to hear your music. Feel free to connect after." Hell yeah, that's awesome. I love when we have Indies live and you guys are connecting with one another and really just forming bonds. I think that's really really awesome, and it's something that I'm always trying to foster. As those of you guys who have been on Indies live with me before know, I think that's super important. That this is a supportive, loving community of artists and musicians that we're putting together. So it gets me really, really excited to see comments like that. So you're rad, Haley. You're rad, Katie. You guys are great. Um, Exciting stuff. I think, just looking through the comments here, looks like that's all we got. And I think I covered everybody's stuff. Let me just double check here and make sure I didn't miss anybody. But thank you guys so much for joining me. We're coming up towards 3 o'clock here, so I'm going to be hopping off. But I appreciate you guys jumping in, sharing with me what you're working on. Thank you as always for being so open, and I hope that this was helpful and gets you guys back on track for the rest of your week and all the stuff that you're working on in your music marketing. We've got some really cool stuff coming up here next week and in the following weeks. So super excited to share that with you all. But as always, thanks for jumping into this audit session, and I will see you guys on the next Indies Live that I'm on with y'all. And I'll keep an eye out for you guys in the group, and feel free, like I said, to share what you've got going on with everybody in there. There's so many good ideas always happening, so much creativity between everybody in there, and it's really inspiring for me and for the rest of the team. So you guys are all awesome. Great work on everything that you're working on, and I hope that this was helpful. And now I'm going to release you to the world. Go kick butt, and I will talk to you guys later. And if you're in the U.S., have a wonderful, wonderful 4th of July. If you're not, have a wonderful weekend once your weekend comes around, and we'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.